Hi, I'm Bill Smith. I'm the Recording Arts Program Director here at Full Sail. We're in our Studio B. I came to Full Sail actually as a working professional. I'd been in the field for 10 years as an engineer and decided I needed some formal education. I learned in the old school way of just kind of figuring it out on your own and people showing you things and stuff like that. And so I came here initially as a student, supposed to be here for 4 or 5 months, got hired as an instructor, and next thing you know, well, I've moved up and I'm now the program director. I've been here almost 20 years. Yeah, I guess you could say I found a home. The Recording Arts program is a comprehensive year-long course of study, 19 courses, that covers pretty much all the fundamental things of audio. We talk about digital audio workstations, large and small, analog consoles, digital consoles, work surfaces, microphones, all the technology that's used to create audio. We focus on music, audio post, game audio, any type of work that a graduate might encounter, we try to prepare them for. We get great students. And it's a wonderful mix. We have people who are hardcore gearheads. All they want to do is run the hardware and run the software. We have people who are artists here to learn to use the technology as part of a compositional skill set. We have people who are exploring sound for film, people who are interested in the gaming industry as audio engineers. We have people coming from all different directions. And that's what makes every class really great, is you have this wonderful mix of people coming together in a creative and conducive environment. I'll tell you, our students tend to be very focused. They know what they want. This is not a school for the faint-hearted. You can go to a 4-year school, take your time, enjoy your way through. I shouldn't say that. You can go to a 4-year school, take your time, or you can come here and get what you want in a very short period of time. Most of our students are very focused. They know exactly what they want, and they've chosen this as the shortest path to getting there. Pro Tools is the de facto standard audio workstation. For us to offer a recording program that didn't teach Pro Tools would be kind of a joke. I mean, anybody who works in audio today uses Pro Tools. So it's a cornerstone of what we teach. It's as much a cornerstone as this SSL console or a Neumann microphone. It's a skill that you have to succeed in the industry today. We have 2 courses that focus specifically on Pro Tools, but after that, it's used in all the subsequent courses. You use Pro Tools really for about half the year. You're working in Pro Tools every day. The way it's set up is we spend some time learning to use the system, and after that we put it into application mode. So you're just getting hands-on time using the system in different, for post work, for music work, for a number of different things, so that you've learned it from a textbook standpoint, and then you spend a lot of time, you actually spend more time in application than you do in the traditional just learning Pro Tools. The industry does change quickly and constantly. Fortunately, the concepts stay the same. So the principle of what a workstation does or what a console does, that doesn't change. But the tools themselves evolve, new features, new functions, better performance. And so we're always upgrading. Every year, constantly, we invest in huge amounts of new equipment, new hardware, new software. It's inherent. To stay current in the industry, you have to do that. Just this year, we installed 12 new SSL AWS 900 Plus consoles in our Mixed Palace facility. That is pretty much the top of the line best small format console on the market today. It's an analog performing console with SSL signature sound quality and functionality. It's tied to a workstation controller that we have interfaced with Pro Tools HD, so you're using both of the most common tools in audio together. The Mixed Palace itself is a 24 studio facility. 12 of the rooms have the SSL connected to Pro Tools HD. The other 12 rooms have a DigiDesign Icon system with a D control. So the entire place is about as sophisticated as you can get. It's all server networked to our large studios, so you can transfer files back and forth from anywhere to anywhere. Just yesterday, we got an email. 107 Full Sail graduates worked on Grammy-nominated projects this year. That's a huge number. It's been consistent for a number of years that we've had a large number of grads. 3 of our grads are eligible for Grammys, actually receiving a statue this year. We have just about any aspect of the industry, you'll find Full Sail grads working. Some of our grads are successful in they're up for Grammy Awards, or we had a grad a couple years ago nominated for an Academy Award for mixing The Incredibles. They're out making a good living, doing what they enjoy. Some of them work in television, some of them work in games. They're programmers. Success is really doing what you want and enjoying what you do. And from that perspective, we have a vast number of grads who are incredibly successful. I started without going to school. I'd been working as an engineer 10 years before I came to Full Sail. I wanted to get a deeper knowledge. I wanted to get better at what I did. But when I started, I traded favors. I'd clean the studio in exchange for learning how to run a compressor. Or I'd, cut tape and do all the other tasks that nobody wanted to do in exchange to get to use the studio. I mean, I came up from that system. And in that day and time, it was simple. It wasn't anywhere near as sophisticated as it is now. The technology was much simpler. And honestly, the people I worked with had the time to show me these things. You know, it was a different environment. It wasn't so money conscious and time conscious. And it was a viable kind of apprenticeship that we did. When you look at the sophistication of our equipment today, when you look at the vast number of things you have to know just to set foot in the door, and when you consider that no one really has time to sit and mentor like that, an education is necessary. You need to walk in the door with a skill set and a tool set. Admittedly, you know, when you come out of college, you're heavy on knowledge and lighter on experience, and that's where that mentorship does come in. You work as an assistant. You spend your time around other engineers and producers. You learn what they do. You look over their shoulder. You help them out. So that element's still there. It's just you're coming into the environment with more knowledge and more skill than you did maybe 20 or 30 years ago. The audio industry is booming. There's more opportunity now than there ever was. It's different, though. It's not just, I'm going to go make records. There's this whole range of television, film, video games, music, websites, an infinite number of possibilities. There's a huge business in installations, doing custom design work. So there's a tremendous amount of opportunity. It's an interesting time, too, because the record industry is going through a change. It's going from an old model that worked back in the day to our new digital era where downloads are taking the place of retail sales, and a lot of things are changing. It's an exciting time. It's part of the way the human condition is changing. We're going to a knowledge-based, service-based industry around the world, and this falls in with that. To me, it doesn't really matter if your product is being sold as an internet download, as a piece of 12-inch vinyl. Somebody's still doing the work. Somebody still has to be doing the work. The environments may change. There may be more records done where people own their own equipment. You know, with technology becoming less expensive, more and more artists have their own studios. They still need somebody to come and help. They still need an engineer. They still need that trained set of ears and that skill set that someone with this background has to offer. So the opportunity is there. It's just a different set of opportunity than it might have been. With the changing of the music industry, with budgets shrinking or the way business is being conducted changing, the work's still there. Records are still being made. They're just being made in a different way. And it may be that instead of spending $100,000 working in a room like this, you work in someone's home studio, a project studio, or you work in a smaller room that really suits your needs. A lot of what's missing is luxury components. You know, the core of it is the music's still being made. There are still music consumers, and there are still people. We still need artists. We still need creative people. We still need technicians to get that done. So there's still a market for it. You know, it's evolving and it's moving into a new way of doing business, but it's still there. I can't see any reason to continue selling physical product when you can, as bandwidth increases and data compression increases, I can't see any possible reason why physical product would remain. I hate to say that because I love going to the record store. You know, my whole life it's been something I've enjoyed doing, is, you know, browsing through records. And I still own plenty of vinyl. But the fact is, I'm sure at some point, either something a whole lot smaller, or no physical product whatsoever. I can't help but think that most audio and video content will be downloaded. Theft is nothing new. People have been stealing from day one. You know, people used to pirate 8-track tapes. You know, it's nothing new. It's just it's become easier to do. So that instead of someone in a warehouse somewhere, you know, storage unit was illegally copying things, anybody with a computer can burn copies. So, you know, it's always been a problem. It always will be a problem. That's part of where the evolution is taking place, is to a business model that allows the owners of content to maintain some kind of control of their product and get paid fairly for it, and users to have a convenient way to get music or get film or video or whatever it is they're looking for. I'm completely optimistic about the future. There are going to be great new technologies that emerge that allow everyone to get their fair play. It'll take a while. It'll probably take a lot more kicking, screaming, and disagreement to get there. But eventually, when there's someone who has a product that's worthwhile, it has value, and people want it, there will be a delivery mechanism where that product is available for a fair price or whatever, you know, the market will bear, and people will buy things. You know, we're in a transition stage right now where piracy is easier than purchasing. We get to a point where that's no longer true, then it'll resolve itself. Yeah, I have no qualms that we'll get there. The advice I'd give somebody really is to search their heart, to think about what it is that really drives them, what they're really passionate about. You know, if you love film. If you love movies and nothing moves you more than a great sounding feature film, it's going to be a whole lot easier for you to pursue that path. And the opportunities there in whichever direction you want to go. It's really, if you're inspired and you're passionate about that subject, about that type of work, you'll overcome the obstacles. You'll make the effort. You'll be willing to make the sacrifices. You'll be willing to do what it takes to get there. So my advice is really search your heart and find out what really drives you. The other side of that, of course, is to figure out what makes sense for you. You know, if you hate living in the big city, it's probably not a good idea to go into certain types of business. You know, if you hate traveling, there's certain parts of the business that wouldn't make sense. And again, it's a matter of searching your heart, finding your true passion and pursuing it.